Hey guys, welcome to Bink City. Here's a quick home cash game, £10 buy-in, 5-10 blinds. You're going to want to see how some of these hands turned out, so stick around to the end and enjoy. Out of the night with our starting stack, and we've got 2-4 clubs on the small blind, so we raised it up to 35p. And Josh raised us to 80p. We're going to call, see some action, see if we can crack maybe a larger hand. And we see the flop of 5-8-5 at 2 clubs, so that's obviously nice for us. We've got a flush draw, so we're going to check it over to Josh out of position. He is going to raise it up to 65p, and we call, hoping to see another club or another low card. Presumably he's got 2 high cards, but we see an ace, and he bets £1 after we check. We're going to call because we want to see if we can bink a club, and we don't. We see a 6, so we check. He checks. I'm pretty sure he's got me beat anyway, so he shows us 2 higher cards and we mark. Then we have very exciting, about 20 minutes later, our first premium pocket queens on the button. Really nice to be in position here. So I raise up to 55p. We're playing 5-10, so it's a 5.5x raise. We get called by Samuel on the big blind, so we're going heads up to a flop, which comes 10 of diamonds, 2 of hearts, queen of hearts. So we flop top set, which looks really nice for us. However, at this point, I'd already lost a bit of my stack, being quite loose before. So Samuel bet 65p, and I'm looking at my stack, which is about £4, I think. So I decide to stick it all in, I believe, because with top set here, if he's got any flush draws, any straight draws, we want to charge him now, see if he wants to stick the money in, and hopefully we can fade on the turn and the river. So let's see what happens here. Just double checking my cards, making sure I do indeed have 2 queens, and we jam for about £4 effective. Samuel sitting with a large stack, and what we do appear to see king jack of hearts, so he's got all the draws in the world, so he's got straight draw, flush draw. We are ahead now, however, we will run it twice and see. So the 6 diamonds means we're good, however the 9 gives him the straight 9 through king. Samuel takes down the first board, and on the second, 7 is a miss for him, but he binks the 9 of hearts, so we lose about £5.50 in there. So £7.50 later, once we top up, and 10 minutes later we look down at the ladies once again, same suits, and this time we're on the small blind. So the button is going to call. We obviously not going to let them get in cheap, so we're going to raise it up to 50p, and then if we call, we can hopefully connect with the board better, or he can miss the board. So he calls £1 pot, and we will see the flop, which comes 3-10-7. So obviously we have an overpair. Now we're worried here in case he has maybe any suited connectors, so about £1.20 might be a bit too big, because we wouldn't mind a call obviously with an overpair. So I think that might be slightly too large here, but nevertheless we do take down the pot when the button inevitably folds, so we'll take that. So a little bit after those queens, we're on the big blind with ace-7 offsuit, and we do like to play these hands, these ace-x holdings. I would prefer them to be suited, but still. So the small blind bets 35p, and since we're already in for 10, we will call an extra 25 to see a flop. And we see ace, deuce, jack, so with the 2 clubs there, if we do see a bet here, we want to charge these draws. So Samuel bets 65p. From the small blind, we have only one choice, which is to raise it up here to stop these maybe 9-10s or 2 clubs from getting in cheap. So raise up to £1.30, in which case if he calls, then we are going to put him on a fairly stronger hand, but still with top pair, I think we're okay for now. So he calls, and we are off to a turn, which comes the 5 of diamonds, so a bit of a brick. He checks. I think we're going to check it through as well, because you don't want to represent too much strength, maybe let him catch up with our ace. And the river is the 10 of clubs. Now when he checks, I don't think he's going to have a flush, but I don't want to get check raised, so we are going to check it back just to be sure, and we do take down the £3.30 pot. So picking up lots of premiums, but 15 minutes later now, ace king offsuit on the big blind. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit, I've got a bit of a cold. However, ace king on the big blind is enough to make me feel a little bit better. So we're in for 10. We are currently waiting for the other deck to be shuffled. You know these same games are. So the bottom bet's 30p, so it raises up 3x, and the small blind calls. Now, obviously, with a premium like ace king, we're going to raise up more, try to get them out of there with whatever hands they're calling with. So 75p raise, the bottom calls, and the small blind also calls. So 3 ways to a flop with a £2.25 pot already. So we see an incredible flop of king, king, 2 with 2 clubs. However, we do flop trips, and with the ace kicker, we're not afraid of any king. So we're definitely happy to stay in here. Now, after looking at a hand calculator, so Samuel bet 65p, he's giving me very good pot odds, about 18%. I don't think it's a very big bet from him. Maybe I should raise. I've got probably about 75% equity here against flush draws. So we do make the call, and the button folds, so he gets out of the way, puts us heads up, and a club comes, which is really not the card we want to see, because now I think our equity goes out the window. However, I still think in the current moment it was a positive EV situation. So Samuel bets £2.50 into me, and we do end up calling, so giving us about 30% pot odds there. I do now see a brick, and now probably should have folded in the situation when he bets £4, almost putting me all in. Basically got me covered. I think I had about £4.50 left, so we sit in the tank. Now obviously looking back, it's easy to say I probably should have folded here because he was repping a flush draw earlier on, but I do make the call as I can't let it down, and he turns over 10 jack of clubs, so we lose a £7 pot here with trips. Board didn't pair, couldn't hit full house, but on to the next one. So at 22-11 we are dealt pocket aces, I think again, and love to see that, hopefully get some value out of them, try to get paid off nicely. Nope. Did you guess it? Comment below if you did. They both folded, we show our aces. Fuck. Okay, and next hand we get dealt ace-4 offsuit on the button, so in position. Prefer this hand because we can connect, make a wheel, prefer it to like some mid ace-x holdings. So we do raise up to 25p. Josh is going to call from the small blind. We're going to go to a flop, which comes jack 8-4 with 2 spades. We do have the ace of spades, which is nice. We're going to check it over to Josh. Don't want to represent anything here. The 6 of diamonds peels off, so we've still got bottom pair. Josh is out of position, so he bets 10p, a very small pot, kind of comical. So we're going to call, and an ace on the river is really good for us. Josh checks to us. Now I'm thinking maybe he has a jack here, maybe he was trying to disguise it. So we bet 45p. Trying to disguise our ace. He raises to £1.50. We're going to snap him off, and he announces he's got 2 pair, as do I, and we have a better 2 pair ace-4 versus 8-6, so we take down a nice pot. And after that hand, just having a little look at the stack, did really need that. We were very short stacked, as I seem to have been most of the night, but now we're back on the up. So after a few more hands, we pick up pocket tens on the small blind. Now we are quite a short stack, so on the bottom raises to 35p. We're going to take a look at our stack and realise we don't have too much left after playing a lot of loose hands with a lot of bluffs. It is a cash game, so we raise it up to 70p, which basically tells them we want to go all in soon. The button puts us all in, we're going to call. We've got pocket tens, hoping not to see jacks, queens, kings. Would like to be in a better position here, so we table our pocket tens. Say we're going to run it twice before we see what Samuel's got. He shows us a 10, which is good for us, and an ace, so we're really hoping to fake an ace on both boards here. So the first board comes a 6-2 jack, 2 and a queen. Perfect, love to see that. And now we see 4-2 king. Can we fade an ace? 4 and bang, a jack. So we do double up there, which was definitely needed. So we go a little bit card dead for a while and pick up ace queen on the button, which is a lovely sight. We're going to try get some money out of this one before we close the session. So we're going to raise up to 35p in position on the button. Small blind calls, big blind folds. So me and Josh go heads up to a flop, which comes, if Samuel ever deals it, will come nearly there. No, 6, 10 and a 9. So 2 hearts. We have the ace of hearts, which is a nice blocker for us, just in case he tries to represent the strong flush draw. We could always back into the nut flush. So obviously we don't connect with this board. Now we're in position, so Josh is going to take a stab at the pot with a £1.10. Looks like he's trying to buy the pot. We're not having any of it. We're on the button, so we're in position here. We're going to try get him to fold, maybe if there's low pocket pairs or anything. £2.75 raise. He's going to fold. We'll take down that pot. And so here for the final hand of the evening, approaching midnight, we pick up pocket queens again. That's probably the 3rd or 4th time, so have been running nicely. The bottom raises to 30p, small blind folds, we're on the big blind. We're obviously thinking about trying to get some more money in here. It's the last hand of the evening. We are slightly down on the session, so we'd like to try just bring ourselves up a little bit more. So we raise up to 60p, so we min click it. Probably could raise for more, to be honest with you, but just trying to see some action here. Don't want him to fold out too quickly. Would like to see a flop, maybe he can catch up a bit. Button raises to £5.30, however, so must have a decent hand, and we snap call for £3.10 effective. So we are all in for the final hand of the evening against Josh, who is on the button. So we table our hand queens, as he shows us ace king. So good news for us. As you may know, ace king misses the flop 29% of the time, and he needs to hit an ace or a king, so we're really hoping to fade them. We are going to run it twice. Obviously I am ahead, but I didn't know that because we decided before we flip. So the first board, we see 9, 3, 4. Neither of us obviously have suited, so that's fine. 10 of clubs on the turn, and we peel the river, which, don't be an ace or a king, is a jack. Wonderful. We lock up the first board. Can we lock up both for a good end of the session? We see on the flop a 3, 8, and a 9. Really clean flop. Let's see no ace, no king. And we see a king. However, the river is a queen. Bang! We river trips, and we finish the session with a £6.20 pot win. Look at that photo. That's just brilliant. So despite that last hand and a lot of the premiums that we saw throughout the night, it was a cash game, and at the end of the day, my range was quite uncapped playing loose with friends. So I think we finished the evening down about £12, but with the vlog, hopefully you can look back over it, learn to play maybe a little bit more aggressive out of position. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one.